Okay, so this round is going to be a costly round, to be frankly honest. But I think we got to pay the piper on this one. So Germany, they bought 11 units because that's pretty much what they could buy in here. Combat, he took Arch, lost 1 tank. He didn't lose anything there, didn't lose anything there, lost 1 infantry here. Taking those 3 back. So that's where he's at. For J13, I need to have 17 fighters in here, so these 9 fighters need to get over there. I have 2 more I could get over there if I want to. Which I might fly 1 just to be a little extra careful. I'm a little worried maybe he starts feeling desperate. You know, the hit on Moscow felt a little bit desperate, but at the same time it put him in the position he's in right now, which is strong, to be honest. So maybe I just underestimated that blow of Germany hitting Moscow. Of course, these tanks still surviving during that airstrike. That was a bummer. But whatever. They came here, and so then they wiped out my reinforcements to Moscow, which made Moscow a little weaker. So what we're really interested in, again, is these 19 U.S. units and potentially these 8 Russian units. U.S. 13 can go to one of these 2. Russia 14 obviously could go here. I'm a little concerned if he moves this whole bit and buys a bunch of air, he'll dead zone that actually. So really it's the 19 American units could go U.S. 13 here, U.S. 14 here to defend against Japan 15. But that means, and we would have, you know, a decent chunk before he gets caught that back up, and that'll give us time to Russia to build themselves back up. We'll have a blockade going right in here, so we'll be holding these, trading these units, these territories. So we'll have the gates open, 8 units a turn coming from Russia or from the U.S. plus Russia building 3 or so units a turn to buy time until we can pivot shift over to these guys. I feel behind. I'm not gonna lie. I feel behind on this, even though I think we're about even attack power-ish. I think actually I think I have a little bit of lead attack power-ish, and income's about even. But regardless, the key here is we got to hold on to this J14. If we don't hold this J14, then we're toast. I did a quick just kind of unit count and what he'd build and how many fighters and junk he can fly over, and all this Air Force gets really strong in defending Berlin. And I don't think if I turned the corner this way with these guys and coincided with dropping in France or something like that, I don't think I'd have enough to take Berlin. Well, he would have Moscow. Obviously, I'd have to pull everybody out. If I pulled everybody out and then went for Berlin, I don't know that I'd have it on. So US 13, US 14 for sure. I don't think I'd have it on 15. I'm not even sure about on 16. And if he gets this on J14, this one on J13, 14, he's building fighters and tanks and just pumping them in at that point. So I think I've got to make Japan fight for Moscow longer. So that means I'm going to have my 1 UK guy that'll go here, and unless he airstrikes an infantry, which I don't expect him to risk it, then that guy will be able to move in on UK 14, so he'll be into my 1 ground I'll be able to add into UK 14 defense because he's in Finland. So I'll be able to add 1 ground from UK. Russia, I'm kind of assuming these 2 bombers are going to hit Moscow and bomber raid. And I'm just going to assume I don't get it. right, so here we go with a quick turn. Japan bought 7 infantry, 1 fighter, a complex, which he put here in Kazakh, a tank, and an artillery. So only 1 fighter build. He put the fighter over here on Tokyo, so it's no threat to Moscow this turn. So we've got some flexibility here now for defending. So we need ultimately 21 fighters. He did not bomb Moscow, so it's still -1. So we got all our capability there. He moved his bombers over here, which I expected. So I need to shuffle my boats on around again, as is my custom at this point. But we need 21 fighters here. We need 2 fighters here. That's 23 fighters that we need covering. But we also need 2 fighters here and 2 fighters here. 2 fighters here now against Germany's turn. And 2 fighters here by Japan's turn. But it's only U.S. going before Germany, so we got to consider this has to be U.S. fighters. This could be U.S. or U.K., but again, we're going to tangle up our U.K. transports or U.S. transports with U.K. carriers. So we're going to say, with the U.S. fighters currently on the screen, we need 2 here, 2 here, and then we need 2 fighters, 21 fighters. So that's 21, 22, 23. 24, 25, 26, 27 fighters we need accounted for. We've got 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Nice how that works out. We're going to build a fighter here because I want to be able to slide one of these UK fighters down on their turn rather than sending him into the mess. So we're going to build a US fighter. So our build's going to come to 8 infantry, 3 artillery, and 1 fighter going up here. And here we go. Oh, combat move. I'm like, wait, I can move those. Combat move. They're going right there. They can't go attacking anything, or else they won't make it back. So we're hitting there. We're hitting there. We're hitting there. Oh. We're going to go ahead and hit there, since this fighter can stay down in Africa for another turn. Oh. Don't want to forget about these guys. This territory can't get hit. These 2 could get hit by the transport coming back. This one's free. This one can get hit as well, of course. And of course you can hit there. So we're gonna keep that artillery back. We'll have these guys here, so we got artillery, fighter, and unfortunately we've only had, that's all we'll have pressure in Egypt. So we're not gonna have a great shot at Egypt if he goes directly to it and just skips. If he hits this with these guys and transports directly to Egypt, we may have to retreat, or you may take a shot for it. Who knows? Who knows what I'll do? I'm a little bit crazy right now. All right. That should be all the attacks. Down here, he did our sub pinch. It did make him consolidate, pulled these guys back, so he's only got the 1 guy hanging out there now. Oh, well, for the bombardments, but hey, we survived in the end, so that's what matters. There we go. Nice. Dang it. Oh, that messes all the math. Messes with all the mathing we did. Thank you. Thank you. Take away a little bit more German income. Permanent income. I mean, it'll switch over to Japan, but I want to start choking Germany out at this point. Gives me 16. 21. Don't want to give anything for free right now. Anything we can get him to spend more units on to swing on, the better for us. Again, this does not cause a sub bug. He just has to disengage. But it prevents him from shooting any transports away from the destroyer group. And that's why I like putting the sub in with the group there. This one we're going to pull back, I think, to help Dead Zone 34. We got carrier fighter going there, right? Yep, okay. So we got 5 transports coming back, 10 guys. Looks good. Everything in me says I should take the freebie. We're going to leave it alone. This will give us 8, 10, 12, so it'll give us a 4 infantry build, assuming the bombers don't hit too bad if they hit. So I think we're just going to take the 1 and we'll be happy with it. Let's see, I did want to take 12, 13. This is 27, 15, 27. What if we did 26 and 12? I think we might do this. We'll take that shot. We're basically asking him to roll dice. We'll see if he's up for rolling dice. Ugh. That's the one thing, the one outcome I could not handle. Crap. Well, that just sticks in the hide. Dumb, 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 dumb. Why did I even do it? Stupid stuff. Stupid, stupid, stupid stuff. It doesn't give him odds, but it gives him a profitable battle to strafe, to attack, to do whatever he wants, and this will be a profitable battle. But he has to be worried about giving me something here if he does it, I guess. So I just... frustrated that infantry and 2 fighters miss, and he hit. Just so stinking frustrating. All right, well, I think that's it. All right, this game continues to plug along. It's an interesting game, certainly. So he bought 10 infantry and artillery. He did a lot of trading. He traded France, lost 1 infantry. Traded Northwest Europe, lost an infantry. So those were good. Baltic, he didn't lose anything. Poland, I didn't check, but he ended up moving a whole stack into there. So that's a concern. Ukraine, he didn't lose anything. So he lost 2. May have lost something in Poland. How'd Poland go? He lost 1 in Poland. So we got 3 hitbacks. Well, that's pretty good. 3 hitbacks out of 5. I will. Well, that was actually 3 hitbacks out of 7. So slightly above average. I will take that, especially when we're trying to get Germany to trade off units. So we'll be happy with that. This is getting to be at that point in the game where it's a lot of calculators I'm doing. So I did a lot of calculators on the off turn this time. I don't like doing so many calculators, but this is a concern. But before we get to that, it took me a while to figure out why the heck did he put 6 fighters down here in Persia. And then I realized I got the 10 UK fighters there, so you needed to protect them from me doing airstrikes, which... yeah, I probably would have, to be honest, because I don't have anything better for them to do this turn. They're not going to do anything this turn. Things are too tight because we lost that stupid infantry. Didn't even kill that guy. Things are too tight, unfortunately. This turn, for me to risk the fighters. Next turn might be a little bit different story. But this turn, I'm in a little bit tight bundle. So what I did is, one... we're going to be moving 1 infantry in, and then for me to be comfortable, I need 22 fighters here. So I need to move all 5 of these fighters in. And then I calculated out what it would take to make me comfortable for Japan 15 if he did an all-out buy. Which his all-out buy now I'm calculating is 6 artillery and 3 fighters. He has 54 IPC. So 6 artillery, 3 fighters would be better than 2 bombers and 3 fighters, right? So, and then if he moves all of this all of these guys and all of these guys this way. Doesn't go towards Africa at all. What would that mean I need here? He probably won't, which will give me a little bit more flexibility on US's turn. But for right now, I need to plan as if. So I calculated this guy going in, all of these guys going in, as well as this infantry artillery AA that I'm going to put in West Russia this turn, them able to go in on UK 15. And then what does that mean for fighters? Well, I'll need 15 fighters here for the end of UK 15 is what that means. What does that mean here for G15 threat onto here? I need 5 U.S. fighters here. Okay. So these 5 fighters can go here. So that'll mean I will have 2, 4, 6 U.S. fighters that I've got freedom with on US 14. And so I need to get these guys out of here by stacking France with as few ground units as possible and as much air units. And so that's going to take all 6 of those fighters in there. I'm not even counting this guy, which I might end up doing because I don't want to throw off my shuck at the same time. So we're going to do it with, it'll take me 5 transports. So 4 and 1 of these transports so that we'd end up with 4 transports coming back, even though we were planning on 5. If I add this fighter, maybe I can do it with only 4 transports, U.S. transports coming from France. Kind of depends on how well UK does on their turn currently. I really wish this infantry was in Canada right now. But we made that goof and we got to live with it. So, purchasing power, we are going to move that infantry over. We're going to have an extra transport. So this transport's going to go back to get that infantry. So we have 3 transports, so we need 5 other ground units. I went ahead with a tank, which I'm not normally a tank builder, but Moscow's weak, and it's a little awkward with how all this is. So having a tank or 2 getting in here that can blitz into Moscow or blitz through Belarusia to hit different things can be good. And I had a little bit of extra money, which is weird to say since we were fighting for Africa. But we had extra money, so let's use it. Because we also bought a fighter, because we like our fighters. The good news with him moving all his let's disengage this first thing before we just gotta figure out what we're gonna do with that. I hadn't thought about what I'm gonna do with that yet. Either I can just I leave him still, then I just got to submerge when it goes to the round of battle. Or we can pull him out. I think I'm going to pull him out and just make him have to chase me, because what he can do is he can send, his battleship back here at the cruiser, and that sub's not going to do anything, and then, use the destroyer with a battleship to hit this, or with these guys, hit the sub somewhere. Or he can... because if he attacks my U.S. sub, then he can't non-combat move these guys. That's the one tricky thing that you do need to know about these situations. If someone puts a sub where you're at, if he attacks the sub, the transports are involved in the combat, the combat, and they cannot do non-combat. Now, he's only got 3 units over here, so I'm not sure he's really worried about non-combating since he built that. He was just going to be going out to get guys and come around. But whatever I can to slow down his movements there is good. But if this sub is in range, he could use the destroyer to go hit something over here, move his battleship back so he has battleship cruiser to protect against that sub, and then go ahead and kill this sub. So I think I'm going to move this sub actually out of range. Let him kill him if he wants. Slow down his non-combat movements of the transports for a turn. And bring the sub over here to help dead zone C-Zone 34 with those fighters like we talked about previously. So I think that's what we're going to do. we'll bring him back. We'll bring him back to like here, I think. Well, you know what? I don't want to give him... Oh, he's not going to be going there this turn. Yeah, I think we'll go back here so that we can slip through the Suez if we decide to, if we need to for any reason. Don't see why we would, but we don't need to hang out over on this side. All right. We can't use that fighter because they all need to fly over. No point in taking this with UK when Japan would just take it right back and we wouldn't get any money for it. I could hit these guys, but I'd rather have them coming in here so that I get some UK ground in here with all this air to trade off on some of these solo Japan guys. So we're going to send them this way. We're going to use US to trade the Germans this turn. And then we're going to have to bring these US guys this turn down here. Hopefully we don't have to pull from these guys so that they can continue to march and then decide which way they go. Is that really my only attack? That feels so lame. We could do a 110, but I think that would make my Moscow this turn a little more risky than I want it to be because I need that 11th Infantry. Maybe we could do that. He'd have a pretty profitable 2-round strafe on Moscow. I think we'll stick with my plan. Let U.S. handle them. Really want this with no hit back. 5. Dang it. Yeah, we'll probably have to use the 5th U.S. transport then to stack France if we decide to go that route. Don't think I'm gonna leave. I was gonna land the fighter on a transport there, but these 2 bombers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, I guess I could move the cruiser. I mean, the German. Let's see. The U.S. is gonna hang tight, right? I mean, he only got the 1 battleship. I ain't gotta worry about him. You know what? Oh, I used the cruiser. I can't pull him in. Yeah, I don't want to hang 2 carriers and a fighter versus 2 bombers. So we're just gonna tuck them in, land the fighter. Alright, so we're going to have Japan and U.S. Japan's got a little more money than U.S., so they're going to catch up some on the attack power. So we got a 34 advantage. Oh, actually, U.S. has got about the same amount, so we'll stay about the same. He's hitting 87. I want to keep this in the 80s. I'd rather get this in the low 80s. I'd feel more comfortable if we could get this down in the low 80s. But at least we're still at 100 here, so. There we go. All right. This game is just a fun, interesting game. It's very tight. I'm really not sure who's going to win this game. I mean, obviously, as I pointed out, I made mistakes early on, and he used a little bit of a different strategy of getting all that air built up and now building up the Japan ground. But any case, so this round he bought 4 artilleries, 1 infantry, 5 tanks, 1 AAA. He's having to protect his site here from my massive bombardments of planes that could hit him. So that's what he's doing there. I probably should be calculating these battles out, but I'm just kind of trusting that he stacked them out. I mean, we could do a 15 strike on the 2 and 6. You know, I don't even know what that probably isn't bad. Yeah, this actually is a profitable battle by like 16 plus 16. But if I hit that with all my UK fighters, then Moscow's as good as dead. J15, if not J15, then J16 certainly. So I don't think it's the smart move, although it is a quote profitable move. I don't think it's the right move. So we're gonna hold off on that. In any case, he took here, he moved his fleet out here, he split up his Pacific fleet to go grab guys off the islands. He's putting pressure on here, of course, so we do got to be mindful of that. I could change my buy up a little bit as I think about it. In case he goes to drop 2 guys there. I think his next move is to Pearl Harbor, to be honest, but you could just drop infantry there. I'm building a tank, but I was going to build a tank fighter over here, but I could build a tank and a bomber instead and keep him quiet from over there. Kind of been missing a bomber. I could use a bomber. Maybe I might change my buy up. I have to recalculate my buy here in a second. But 2 infantry and a tank here. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I only need 1 infantry. So if I could put an infantry, tank, bomber here. So we'll recalculate my builds here in a second, because I think that's what we're going to do instead. But reinforced here with some fighters, that means he's planning on staying there. So stacking here will make him have to retreat some of that and leave in order to protect him, because we're still going to stack here. So this is just a nice, interesting game here. Interesting layout. So, like I said, I think I'm gonna reset my purchases here. I think instead we're gonna talk about that on the west coast there. Yeah, so that could go on there. Then we have the tank bomber if he decides to land there. Tank can also plan to come over here, but we'll just plan on them not. So we're going to have to use one of this 1 infantry to hit Northwest Europe. We're going to have 4 going back for the 10, so we got a +2 right now. And then we're going to have 5 sitting here, so we need 8. So we need to build 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need a 2 build for Finland, and that's what it leaves me. We could take the 2. Yeah. The fleets get a little bit messy here again. That's the part I'm thinking about. Because Japan bomber will be able to land back over here, so he'll still have 2 bombers pressuring here. I definitely want to take this time to switch out the destroyers. I've got plans for every single one of my fighters, so I can't have them on boats. So it'd be nice to build the fighter here like I was originally planning. Maybe I go with my... Originally I was just going to put 3 infantry here. He goes up here. I move 1 of them up, maybe 2. Build my tank next turn with the bomber, infantry tank bomber to protect, hit. And I'll give him Alaska for 2 turns there. So that'd be a 6-point swing. But we would have stuff protected up here, and we could get the tank quicker into Moscow, which is if I really want it. Six points means instead of building fancy stuff, we just build a couple more infantry. I think I'm going to go back to my original plan. I got to recount it. I got to count it out as I go. So here we go. So Norway. Because Norway dropped him 14, 15, 16. He's in Moscow for protecting for J17. And every J turn right now is going to get we're going to need every unit we can get in here, I think. So there's Norway. Like we said, we need 8. We need 3 on the west coast. We need 8 for the east coast. That leaves us 3. Let's build up some firepower. So there we go. There's our build. We're going to go with this. We're going to give him Alaska free. Probably, maybe not the smartest choice. I don't know. So these are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. These are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We need, how many fighters do we need there for J15? For J15, we only need 10 fighters. So we're not only are we're going to move the Russian fighters into this bellow stack to allow some U.S. to head this way. We want to make sure we grab him. Do we want to grab? I think we're just going to leave the 1 and we're going to backtrack and conserve. We'll come back here and he'll still have that 1. Either he goes up to Egypt or he comes down to one of these 2, which we could hit. So I would think he'd go to Egypt, although we'll be pressuring that with, again, with all our fighters and fun stuff. So I think we'll let him keep the horn there. So I think that's all of our attacks this turn. Nice hit battleship. Bad hit artillery. Oh, come on. Are you flipping kidding me? Of course, we roll 5 hits on the second round and he gets a second hit. Are you kidding me? Gosh darn it. I mean, it's most important that we trade the units, but come on. And watch this. 2 fighters will do much better than 5 fighters did. I wanted that's the I sent 5 to the other one because that's the one I definitely wanted to get. Yeah, we win the territory with 2 fighters. We lose it with 5 fighters. Golly. Gosh darn it. I mean, it doesn't change. He doesn't have a tank. It doesn't change anything. It's just lost income. That's income I was hoping to have on the green side. Oh, well, where are you going? Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Dude, you guys almost got completely lost. It's 2 bombers look like versus a carrier and 2 destroyers. I feel like that should be my positive. Yeah, let's move. Oh, wait. I don't have any transports up there. Why? I don't need to protect that at all. Let's just bring you on. Oh, but I built that fighter. Gosh darn it. Silly me. I'm sitting here protecting the C-Zone 3 and it doesn't need protected. Well, I mean, we can still build them to send them in there, but we'll just drop them both on land. I don't know that 3 fighters would want to airstrike that, and the 5 fighters can't reach. So, if they want to, then they can. All their air, you know, the bomber can reach down here. The fighter 1, 2, 3, he can't, but he could hit this one, 1, 2, 3. That's why I didn't want to go there. But he'd have 2 battleships. What's he got on here? I don't even know what he got. 2 infantry, 2 battleships, and a bomber. That would be hitting me there. I'm sure that's good against 3 units, right? I mean, unless they're Germans, because the Germans obviously get multiple hitbacks. Yeah, that'd be favorable for him to take, and I'd have nothing here to counter with, so. This one. Now, I don't want to leave him here because now he can attack and then move non-combat back. Maybe we come down this way, start to kind of loop around and not give any freebies up over here. Removed him. These guys are going to chill. All right. I need to double check my stacks real quick. I'm going to pause the video for a moment. Almost forgot a key part of moving West Russia into Moscow. That could have been rather ugly. Looks like I got an extra one here, as I only need 22 infantry, 6 artillery. So we're going to put it as 4 going over here, and I think I should have enough room to maybe move an AA up there. Because I need 10 fighters. Like I said, we're going to move those out. So we got 5 UK guys still flexible. Move the AA out, so then we got 4 maybe that we can use for doing whatever we want to do with them. But I don't really got anything special other than hitting these dudes. So yeah, I think we hang out there. Maybe we'll strike down here if he does move those fighters to come back because of us stacking France. There we go. We're just gonna build our infantry on up. I think I am gonna take it's a kind of iffy, favorable. I have to say favorable. It failed last time, so don't know I can call anything there favorable now, but favorable-ish. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like they can get back to Bellow. And they can. Yay. I'm going to do a double check real quick on the Moscow J-15. It should be 100% fine, but Germany could choose to airstrike these 3 guys. I don't think they would, but they could choose to. And then that would affect the defense versus Japan. So I'm just going to check that. You'll see it in the next video. Because all I'm doing is dropping my 4 Russian infantry here after that. The only thing that I might do differently is not put the AA up there and let him take the 2 infantry versus 4 and airstriking. But I'd rather not give him any favorable trades, because what else is this fighters here going to do? They're not doing anything. They're not trading anywhere other than maybe picking off a guy for them or suiciding into France or something. I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to stop the recording here, but that's the only thing you can just look out. You can double check, see if I left my AA there, is what it boils down to. Oh, wait, nope. That's what I get for an auto. Woo! Almost. See? That's why we got to double check those things. And I'll double check my stack. Alright, I'm going to take my turn quickly here. I got a cold going on. Y'all don't want to hear me sniffle and sneeze and cough as much as you already have. So, Germany, they were down to 9 purchases, so although the 6 artillery, I guess he did buy 6 artillery. Wow. I assumed he's dead zone France. I didn't even do the math on here. I never was planning on doing math on here. I'm going to give him, I got 10 units here, got to hit 1, so we're going to give him 3-3-3 or 3-4-3 units that I have to strike against to make stack pivoting a little bit harder. Plus, we're going to have units here and units here that he may want to try trading as well. So hopefully, we make it some just heavy trading, which I'm good with, and then whatever he has left over, hopefully we come back and hit his remaining stuff. So that's the hopes, and we'll see what exactly we do. I'm just playing with some thoughts in my head at the moment. So, in any case, we're not going to be landing any new troops on this Western Europe front. We're just going to take our UK up this way so that we can land them up here, work them towards defending Moscow and trading in Europe. But that means this guy's not going to be able to come to the island to pick anybody up. He's just going to take his 1. They'll take 4. That leaves me 1 unit hanging out here. So I only needed to build 5 ground. So I built 5 ground, and we're going to build 2 fighters for helping our fighter pump to Moscow for the defenses of Moscow. I probably will bring at least one of my U.S. transports down this way to help reinforce the Africa grid, probably down into Morocco, I think, because we only got 1 here, and help reinforce here since we're probably going to hit and retreat. So most likely we'll bring 1, maybe even 2, we'll see, and our U.S. guys down this way. And yeah, that's what we're looking at. He did, like I said, he did pull out of Belarus, or excuse me, out of Poland, which is, well, kind of pulled out of Poland, which is good. Presumably his fighters are going to leave, which allows me to kill 8 infantry and an AA pretty well if we can stay in Belarusia. And 1, 2, well, even if we don't stay in Belarusia, if we have to pull back. The reason I say if is he could, if I don't take Ukraine, and there's a decent chance I don't take it with UK, we're going to try. But if I don't take it, he could move his Japan guys in here and stack into Ukraine and move these guys over, in which case I could come in here probably and split them apart, and then he moves that way and reinforces Germany, and we get a lead on here, and the game continues to go on and on and on. That's a possibility. But hopefully we get to kill 9 guys pretty easily, because yes, I will take as many of these 11 planes that can hit it. Say, give the AA a shot, but we're going to overwhelm it and crush these guys. And maybe only send like 7, 8, probably 8 ground into there. So hopefully we'll have here, here, and here, actually, as I was talking about, as well as these 3 for Germany to trade. So lots of trading, even with his 10 fighters. Going to be fairly heavy trading, so hopefully we can drain out some of these ground troops. Anyways, so that was our purchase. Our attacks. Gonna hit those guys pretty hard. Because again, I want to use as many of my fighters just to overwhelm them as possible. We're going to try and take Italy with the UK. I think that's all of our attacks. Gosh, that's the one thing I didn't really want. So frustrating. I mean, I know it happens, but it always happens when I don't want it to. Because it's always the truth, but man. Those fighters are valuable assets. I really was really hoping for a clean kill on Ukraine so that they wouldn't have many options with the Japan there, but sometimes the dice like you, sometimes the dice don't like you. There we go. Nice. I don't want to let him have that chance to blitz the tank through here and have all his air hit up here, so we're gonna have him chill. We are gonna bring the 1 destroyer down just to make sure that we keep our U.S. guys safe. We're gonna move out the carrier here to catch the 2 fighters so we can dump fighters in right away. We're gonna move him here where we can still pressure 34. As well as 60, 62, 61, and the destroyer can't reach me. Down here, let's see, he's got 2 transports in a he could come at me with 4 and 2 battleships from that angle, so let's do this. There we go. I keep forgetting to look at this. So we got 32. I keep showing this, but I don't really follow this so much. We got a lead. He's at 80 income now, so like seeing that Germany number finally getting down there. Okay, so unfortunately I made a huge mistake. I think when I was recording and I just wasn't, I knew I counted out, but I gave him a 56% shot on my 5 transports in the fleet. He took it, he killed it, he wiped it. He did lose 5 fighters, and he's going to lose a bomber over it. That's painful, because he still has 10 fighters here, and I don't have much fleet for defending. So we're almost exclusively stuck to a northern shuck, which means our trading is going to become much more limited until we get stuff built back up. It's going to take a while. So we're going to build 4 infantry and a tank. He did take Alaska. He took 3 down here, so he's got 5 infantry, battleship cruiser threatening West USA, so we do got to respond to that. The interesting thing is he built 3 fighters and 6 artillery. He doesn't have any more reinforcements coming in on the ground other than what he's building here. I think building the 3 fighters, to me, that feels greedy. I would have been building the ground that he's going to need, because we're going to easily be able to defend J16 and J17 for that matter. And even I'm going to pour the U.S. reinforcements this way, even though I don't have we're going to have a gap after these guys come through, unfortunately. We have a gap because of landing in France. We're going to have a gap because we don't have any transports after these guys. So, but I feel good enough. I'm going to send the UK guys this way. I'm going to continue to try to stack the US guys. We're going to hit these guys as cheaply as we can, but effectively, hopefully. And, yeah. We're going to build 2 of our transports back this turn. I think I'm going to hit these guys with these planes too. And then he's got nothing to go back again to get this guy, and he's got nothing over here, so I was going to take this tank. Actually, I might even take the tank out that way too, as I think about it. Anything the Germans can do? They can't do anything to stop me. Yeah, we're going to take the tank on out there too. We're going to airstrike those guys. Yes, don't want to forget about down here. I think we're going to put one more in there. Just for good measure. Make him, since we're making him trade heavy, let's make him trade heavy. one's not horrible. Could have been worse. Nice. I almost thought about retreating there, but let's just make him trade heavy wherever he wants to trade, so... Come on, fighter. Thank you.
Let's take a look and see when he gets possession of the football, he has a knee down. Clearly, looks pretty clear. That'll put him back inside the 25-yard line. And that just means more real estate maybe for Dante. Yeah, the cover. It does. See right there about the 24-yard line? Dan Lanning had his team out here warming up early to come out and start here this second half. I would expect this football team, once we're able to put this ball back in play. After video review, the returner's knee was down at the 24-yard line with possession of the ball. First down at the 20.
Just in case he does something crazy here. I don't need them up yet, so...
I think Dan Lanning, as you see him there on the screen, I mean, he is obviously determined to make sure that his football team stays sharp, and stays locked in, and stays focused regardless of what the scoreboard says. That's probably not the start to the second half he had envisioned. Let's see what Dante Moore's got. Well, they're a top 10 scoring team, and tonight already making the 9th time in the last 13 games this season that Oregon has gone over 30 points in a game, and this is 34 of their last 41.
That's right. Go ahead and bring him on back here since he's giving me room. And just keep this back line clear of transports running around naked.
You see how quickly they're able to capture the edge and how their tight ends out on the perimeter, Sally Baga, Kevin Sneak, they just get on their guys and just start pushing and driving people and just create running lanes for these running backs to hit it downhill. I mean, it is like artwork down there. Getting out to the 47-yard line is Malik Benson, 16 more yards. You see how quickly, once he catches the ball, he turns into a runner, feeds it to the ground, and it is exploding upfield. I mean, that's coaching. That's something that obviously is emphasized on the practice field here, day in and day out. These guys play at a tempo that just jumps out at you when you watch them play. Whittington. Midfield. He's got 8. You know, Malik Benson also, talk about the ultimate teammate. When he came here behind Gary Bryant, Cullen and Evan Stewart, who got hurt back over there.
There we go. So let's look at this. So this gap's going to close a little bit because of losing those transports. But we do still have him down to 83, so we got him, you know, again, we got Jeremy at low, so that's good. All right, so the good news from Germany's turn is he was only able to build 8 units this last turn. The bad news is because of our very expensive Christmas gift we gave him, he's able to push, not only just push into Poland, but he's also dead zoning Belarusia. I'm going to have to back out to Karelia. And again, because of my timings and all the blah, 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 he can put some pretty good pressure on Karelia. Hopefully, you know, by that point, we're going to bring them back. We're hopefully going to have enough this turn. Well, we are going to have enough this turn to stack C-Zone 8 again. And we'll be getting our recovered fleet back. So he shouldn't be able to push into Karelia, but he will probably be able to push to at least trading here, and that means he'll keep Ukraine going permanently, and then we'll be trading only up into here. Actually, you'll probably stack here, so that we'd only be trading now to these two. Although we're gonna go ahead and come down, and we're gonna start trading these again right away. Pushing my fleet a little thin-ish, but we're gonna work with it. Yeah, we got enough fighters to work with. So I did, again, because he's got no reinforcements ground here, and I'm going to kill these 5. It means he's going to be slow to build up. So I calculated out J16, and I need like 15 fighters here. Well, assuming I don't lose 6 fighters here, or more than 6 fighters here, we should be okay. And I better not lose 6 fighters there. So we should be okay with that. Outside of that, then J17, I forget what I calculated, but I can pull it up real quick. Basically, we're going to need 18, it looks like, if my math is correct. Even if you did a 5 artillery, 1 infantry, 2 bomber, and a fighter build on J16, J17, we just need 18 fighters in range. So again, we got 21 here. So as long as we don't lose more than 3, we got enough right here alone. Plus we got these guys to reinforce. And then after that, these ground troops will be getting into Moscow if we need them to. So we should be able to hold Moscow, but unfortunately Germany's going to get to grow again. Just when we were starting to get them contained. So stays a good game, stays an interesting game. We do got to worry about all of this nonsense. Down here, I looked at this. I think I'm just going to leave it as is. I could try to do the 3-on-3, which is a 17% chance I win that. Or he can bring 6 infantry, 2 battleships, and a cruiser on my 3, and it's like a 97% chance he wins that. So purely statistically speaking, it makes sense for me to try and take that. But if I fail, then he gets it for free, and these guys can move forward, start coming this way, and start threatening Brazil next turn. Which he could probably just do 2 and then send 1 this way with the fleet and threaten Brazil anyways. So that's something we're going to have to be thinking about on US's build. Obviously, we're going to be thinking about what do we want to do about Brazil there. I could go and drop somebody there now, but he does have a lot of transports with a lot of troops coming around, so I just don't know that it'd be worth dropping 2. I thought about dropping 2 infantry there this turn. I just don't think I'm going to play that game. I need to get these troops to Europe. So in order to be able to drop a fleet in 8 and not pull my cruiser, because I'm just weary of having a carrier fighter covering my 4 transports with 1 versus 1 bomber. I'm still, after the other one, I'd be weary, even though that should be safe. I want to leave my cruiser too. So unfortunately, it means I'm going to build a destroyer and a fighter, but that still lets me build 6 infantry, which is what I need for my 3 transports. The main question is, do I try to do 2 and 2 and Shuck, or go ahead and try and trade them all? Because he's lower on infantry down here, I'm going to go ahead and trade kind of on the heavier side, I think. No cruiser. I almost brought my cruiser into it. am going to, so here's an interesting part of this, and it depends how well this goes, of course. If this goes well, then he has to look at the fact that I'm threatening over here, and his nearest transport is here. These transports can come back, but of course he wants to go this direction with the transports as much as possible. His nearest factory is over here and here, so I'm going to make a dent with putting my tank back here if he's not careful. So he could bring these Alaskan guys back and take one of these two territories. But what if I'll have a sub threatening there. I can move this sub within range to threaten there as well. But what if I also drop 2 UK fighters here? If I drop 2 UK fighters, he could reinforce one of these two with transports, with the 2 infantry from a transport. But I could always, on J16, but then US can blitz. A fighter that's sitting here could go 1, 2, 3, 4. So they have to worry about that. He could come back to 62, choose to reinforce here, and then drop into 62, and then I'd have 1, 2, 3, and then I couldn't land there, though, I guess. But that's why we don't need to worry about season 34 for a turn, so I think we're going to pull this guy on back into here as well. Maybe I'll put him here, actually. Just because if he drops a destroyer here, then I'm in trouble, and he pulls this destroyer back. I can only escape one of them. The other one's doomed. Which technically the US subs probably is doomed if he builds a destroyer there regardless. Anyways, something to think about. I do need to leave this infantry here. I was going to move him into Moscow, but I forgot I need to watch out for these tanks blitzing and all this air force, so we are going to have to leave that infantry there to block the tank blitz. I guess I can delete that note so it doesn't have to keep telling me about it. Thank you. There we go. I'll take that. All right, 5 hits right off the bat. Let's get the 5 hits right off the bat. Royal Air Force aces. Whew. Big whiff, big whiff, big whiff. Okay. 2's not bad. So the way I look at this, in those that don't follow me along, I'm not going to explain now. You have to look back in my videos, but the metric I use is attack strength, defense strength. So these are really defending Moscow as their ultimate goal. So fighters have a defense strength of 6 in my book, so that makes that a 12 defense strength I lost. Tanks have 5. Infantry have 3, so that's a 10, 19 attack strength they lost. So they lost 19 attack strength and my 12 defense strength. I'm okay with that. Plus, that keeps my US guys up here happy. I do want to count up if he does, so these fighters can go 1, 2, 3. These fighters can go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So he can hit 4 fighters and a bomber. I do need to pull out the calculator and find out just how much that means that threat is. Because we definitely need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the minimum. Now, how many fighters do we want to land here to protect these guys so he doesn't airstrike me? Is the next question. let's see what that is. So I think I'm going to go 3 fighters there. Give me the one bonus one here. Technically, even having to move anything would be a negative battle for him. So the other thing that I'm looking at here is, turn order, right? What's going to happen when I move the U.S. troops? Well, after U.S. comes Germany, and that's the 10 fighters, but 1, 2, 3, 4, they can't reach. So then UK will be able to return those fighters safely without them getting picked off. So that's what I wanted to take a quick look at. And there we go. So with Japan having 8 more than U.S., and U.S. is going to have to buy more transport, so that attack power is going to get very evenish after this turn. And he's growing that income again. So this is going to continue to be a very tight game. Hopefully I can mess up his timing some by making some dents into Japan this way. He certainly made a huge dent in my timings with that fleet shot. Okay, so it looks like we got a little bit of a window here. I feel like he has stacked his back line here. He moved forward. I guess he, like I said, he realized that Moscow is going to take a little longer, so he did buy a whole bunch of ground and one more fighter. So we are going to have to continue to deal with that threat, of course. But I think, yeah. I don't know what I think yet, but anyways, I do think we can wipe this back line of his and still keep Moscow stacked. I mean, we're going to have to retreat out of here regardless, so let's go ahead and do a little bit of offensive and not just be on the defensive. So I looked at the possibility of trying to doing this and stacking West Russia, but it gets a little iffy. So I'm going to send my units there. We'll recalculate after this gets done because it depends on how this AA does, of course, and how we just do on our battles in general. So, and then, he does have these 2 transports threatening here, but at the same time, I'll have my 2 subs coming back, and I'll have my US and UK air threatening, because I should be able to hopefully I get these 2, so that one of them would be open and I'd be able to airstrike them. Of course, that does mean fighters leaving Moscow, and what does that mean? I don't know. That's getting too far ahead of me to think right now. So here we go. We're going to buy 7 infantry, 2 artillery, and a tank. I believe that was it. Oh yeah, and a couple more transports. We continue to try to rebuild our transport load. Unfortunately, kind of sad. Anyways, I did my counting, and I think I counted enough for an infantry tank to go here. Again, I like the tanks because we got to get to the Moscow, keep defending it. And then all the rest counts so that I'll be able to take Alaska. I'm only going to have 7 here for my 4 transports coming back, but I'm also building for these to go to Africa and come back up here, so that they'll be able to come back here and then head over. So yeah, here we go. We're going to hit his back line and let Russia hit him and keep our points. Because he brought these guys back, yeah, I could have blitzed in and out and gotten a 1-pointer there, but here we're going to be threatening all through this direction that he'll have to recover for. And all that said, he does have 4 units back here, plus this one's grabbing 2, so I think he wants to bring these 2 back to grab them, but he's using them to threaten Africa at the same time. This guy has to come back to the fleet. These guys have to come back to the fleet to protect this from the 10 fighters. I don't want to overkill this. I do want to take it to take out the production for a turn. I don't, you know, if we throw whatever we throw extra, they're just going to kill easily. So they're going to trade back easily. So I want to just take it. They're coming back. Go. Nice. Nice, nice. This is important for when we do the cause battle because we got to make sure that these are dead so that they aren't attacking Moscow next turn. Here we go. And I do know it's a heavier trade, which I don't really want to do, especially with the US. But this is why I wanted to do it, to make sure that we actually got it. Good. All right. Nice. Again, at least it'll be another round of having to do some heavy trades for Germany at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots potentially, although he may leave this for Japan to hit. Save the big battle. There we go. Good. Nice. There we go. Good. Good. All right. I am going to take a moment to pull up my calculator. Anytime I do a big battle, I always want to have my calculator with me so that I can see what things look like as each round of dice go on to determine if I need to retreat or not. If it'd be better to retreat or not. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. All right. And we're all ready. Here we go. Oh, sorry. Here we go. So let's see. Looking at the calculator, 6. So we want 8 to 9 hits to their 8 hits on the first round. Three, 5, 6. Yes. Okay, put the 6 back. Okay. 6 to 6 I'm okay with right now. Man, those artillery. What's wrong with the artillery? Someone fixed the artillery for me already. All right, what do we got here? We got 10. We have 8 and our... All right, we're going to keep going. There's the artillery. All right. This may be worth retreating because I could send 3 infantry and 2 fighters, or even, yeah, we can Let's see. Russia could finish him with 3 infantry, two fighters, and send an infantry artillery over here and bring those guys back. Yeah, I think we're going to retreat this. Nice. I'm not going to give him anything free since he does have to trade these other spots at least. And if he retakes Alaska, we can keep 1 transport back, have 2 infantry tank hit him if need be. Oh wait, no, that's not what I want. I want submerge. But we're going to change just in case he does the 10 fighter strike at the fleet of 3 there. Don't think he does, but just in case. And I think that's every. Oh, wait. That way we got another pressure back there. Plus he's still pressuring 60, 62. So 8, 4 for them, 4 for them. Just prepping in case those guys have to take Alaska back. If they don't, then we got extra infantry and we'll just be sloppy for a turn. So worth buying an artillery. So we're going to get 3 more. 4, 5, 6, 7, 15, 16, 17. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. If we save the 1, then we can possibly get 6 more infantry. So I think we're just going to go this route. Do want to double check my numbers here in Moscow. I'll have 23, 15, 8, 1, correct. We just built 5 infantry, so we'll be down to 29 infantry, 2 artillery. We will have 2 tanks, so we can bring that guy around. And we're going to have like 21 fighters, so we are going to be more than good. There we go. All right. Whew. Glad I sent 3 infantry. Again, they're going to come back before it matters. I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to eventually get a double stack here. But let's go ahead and get all this in here. So this now, you know, Japan's going to have to reestablish trying to stack both of these, and German units are pretty far out now. Germany's much stronger than what I got going here, but I'm also hopefully going to be able to bring the cruiser back. I can build more if I need to, and then maybe I can stack France again, because we got more than enough defense here now versus him. And again, he's got that thin line of no reinforcements for a turn. So hopefully this looks pretty good. So here we go, 255. So that we got that. Even with building the transports, we still kept a little bit of that power because of that victory in Kaza. You know, that was a significant victory, obviously. But he is up to 88 income again. Eek. But maybe that was a pretty big strike here, I feel like. I think it was well worth it. Again, I almost forgot I was recording on this one. So, real quick, let's see, Germany. Unfortunately, they were able to buy 10 infantry again. See, he hit France. He lost 3 infantry, evidently. That's nice. I'll take that. He hit Northwest Europe. Unfortunately, didn't lose any. He hit Ukraine. Can't really tell because he ended up moving his whole stack there. Belarusia, he didn't lose any. Baltic, he lost 2. So not real great because we had a lot in there, right? So France, we went 3 for 3, so that's good. Northwest Europe, we lost 1. Ukraine, we lost 2 for his 1, okay. Belo, we lost 1 to his none. Baltic, destroyed 3 to R2, so yeah, it's okay. The interesting thing here is the fact that he moved everything to Ukraine. So that allows me to move US to here again, stacked. Or at least quasi-stacked, if you will. Not sure if I'm going to do that move or not yet. I do get to hit a fighter, maybe for a fighter. Fighter for a fighter. And then I can land 6 here and protect Egypt. We're going to land these 3 over here to protect these guys from an airstrike. And yeah, we're attacking up here. So our build was 4 infantry, 2 artillery, and a fighter to replace there. Here we go. I'm thinking he's planning on like a 1-2 on Moscow, and or he's going to use those Germans to team up with Japan and West Russia and then go to Karelia looking for a victory city. There we go. Good deal. There we go. Nice. Good. All right. All right, let's think sixes now. Think sixes, think sixes, think sixes. Sixes. All right. Yeah, so I'm partially worried about him coming here, or yeah, Japan hanging still because he put his fighters there, and then these guys going in here, Japan going in here on 18, and then Germany, Japan on 19, up to there. I'm not sure we'll have enough to fend him off that way. So we'll need to make sure we're trading here heavily and make sure it doesn't get enough built up, because that means, to do that, he'd have an 18 and be able to dump them, and so we need to have enough pressure around here that we can't allow that to happen, and or I think he's got enough boats here he's going to hang around to prevent me from building a transport here to take this guy back. So we do need to watch out for that round 19 victory city. I'm a little concerned about that. I feel like we should be able to keep enough pressure on Berlin and France, but he's got a lot of air. Do we do everything? God. There. There we go. So yeah, so the victory city is a little bit of a concern, but I mean, it doesn't have a ton here. He'll do the Germany quasi stack, US, I don't know. Hopefully we can keep trading it.
All right, so here we go into US 17. So he did build a destroyer, so we won that, made him build a destroyer down here, a couple fighters, and then he loaded up on some infantry again. So we only need a handful of fighters here for Japan 18. We're more worried about Japan. The round 19 is our main determining if he comes here, G18, and does a 1-2, G19, J19, or if they go here and then go here, we got to make sure we're pressuring somewhere else and break up the victory cities. So I'm going to work on that. Again, 19 being the biggest concern, so we could potentially build a transport on 18. I don't think he's going to let us. I think he's going to move these guys up here, do an Alaska thing again, and we'll have something going on there, but we'll see. So purchases, we're looking at, we do get a backup of infantry right now, so we're going to have them running under here. These guys are going to go with those 4, 8, matches these 4 transports. So we are going to be able to build a transport, 3 infantry, 2 artillery. We are going to build a bomber, I'm going to explain that in just a second, and a carrier that we're going to put up here and fly some fighters back into it. So one of the big threats is the Atlantic here. We've got C Zone 34 kind of shut down, but these transports can come over to 21 and then threaten Africa as well as Brazil. So if I bring this carrier with 2 fighters on down here, 1, 2, and the carrier can hit here, a bomber can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we will have this dead zone, so he's going to either need to turn that around, or he'll probably go back up here again to threaten where I can't drop a fleet here and I need to get my victory city somewhere else, is the likely one. Um, you could try sneaking a transporter around here, like 17, 18, 19, but I mean, he'd be able to defend that, and that's just a waste of a transport that could be pressuring Germany. So our goal is going to be to pressure these 3. So on US 18, we want to be able to bring some people here, and hence why I'm going to have a carrier down in the Africa zone anyways. And if we need to bring him back up here, we can, and we'll have a carrier up north. Plus, it gets us, we're going to have most of our US fighters in range of France, just in case we decide to let this go and then prepare our 1-2 on Berlin. Let's see, which way do I want to do this? We're going to have US fighters down here. We're gonna split our sub. So you dropped his destroyer on top of our sub. So where we go, they're going to be available. So I'm going to drag them into this dead zone where we're going to have a whole bunch of fighters here. So we're going to have 6 U.S. fighters here versus these guys. So hopefully we'll discourage him, or if he goes this way, we'll have fighters coming from UK could have fighters coming this way and hitting him with the sub going back and hitting him. So we'll see. We'll keep the threat up on him. We do want to take out artilleries where we can. We're going to hit these guys with the UK fighters flying back to Moscow. Hit them with these 2 so we can make sure we hit them. I think that's our attacks. So we'd love to take this territory, mainly want to kill the artillery, but we'd love to take it and get that extra bonus point and make his units have another unit it has to hit, but no such luck. Unfortunate. Oh, another hit back. Hitbacks are getting me. That means we need no hitbacks here. There we go. Well, at least we got the one landed in there. That's the critical one, I suppose. So we do have these 3 fighters sitting out here. He could try to strike him with his 2 German fighters, but his German fighters are more valuable than my UK fighters, so I will let him take that because we'll be rolling defensive versus his offensive dice, so we'll be in good shape there. So, like I said, with these 6 fighters here. Oh, I did it backwards. I wanted my US sub up there after all. Oh well, we did it backwards. My tricky play did not work down there. Anyways. I think I tried to be too creative for my own good. Think we have anything else good to hit. Do we want to throw him up here? Could put these guys up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 8 striking out. Say let's not. We could put him here to see if we get a hit back. Do that. Get a hit back. There we go. We do have Germany, or excuse me, Japan slowed up, but again, I'd be curious to see what Germany does here. 258, 229, so plus 29. He is at 86. So overall, we're still in a, looks like we're in a slightly better position, but we just gotta hope we don't have any victory city opportunities here, because he does have a lot of fighters for kind of supporting things. All right. Okay, so good news, bad news. Good news is he did move back to Poland, so the Germans are back here, so we no longer got that victory city threat or the 1-2 on Moscow threat at this moment. So that's the positive there. Bad news is he is up to 11 units building again, so we really want to get that German income back down again. So he hit France, lost one, hit Northwest Europe, lost one, hit West Russia, and he lost both his infantry and his fighter. I think he got frustrated and pushed through when he probably shouldn't have. And Belarus lost one, so he got a lot of hit backs. So it was a rough round for Germany. So yeah, I only had one infantry there, so he tried to take the infantry out with the fighter. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, what it does allow him is after my UK turn, he could move, blitz a tank to Karelia and hit that with a whole bunch of air and kill my infantry tank for it. I could put my tank in there to block him, but I don't. I mean, I guess that's slightly better value, right? That he's killing one tank and getting two versus killing a tank and an infantry and possibly getting four. I guess it makes sense to put him in there. So what I really want to do is I want to hit him down here and actually take this territory, hopefully with hitting the tank and the 6 infantry. So I think I'm going to let him have that Corellia shot. I mean, I'll turn around and wipe it afterward. It's not going to hold anything. So I'm going to let him get that for Japan if he wants to. But otherwise, so we're going to go ahead and build 6 infantry. We're going to go ahead and build a bomber because we got enough fighters to last the Japan threat a while now that Germany's backed up. So we're going to get us a bomber. And we are going to build a destroyer just because the 9 fighters. And we've got 8 units here. The extra destroyer makes me feel just a little bit more comfortable with the 9 fighter possible attack there. Think we're going to go ahead and do this just to slow. I shouldn't have bothered bringing that Russian infantry over here, to be honest. Because we're going to go ahead and hit that. We're going to take that risk. I'm okay with it. Just because I don't like the dice. So I'm thinking I'm going to give this a shot. You know what? Let's even do this. Let's. If I have to use US to come finish him, I'll use US to come finish him. But I really want 24 though. Yeah, it's tight. 32, 16, 6. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I want to get some more UK ground up on this corner right here, especially since I'm getting ready to use my last ground to do some attack. So we're gonna do a 2 and a 1 and have one transport come back up here, and we're gonna take we're gonna take 2 shots against this 3 with 4 and a cruiser bomber, and hopefully get a 1-shot clear on that. At least that's what we're trying for. Three hits first round. See that cruiser do something other than miss. All right, big whiff. He hit the 2. Of course he did. Oh man. Well, that was not a good round of dice for us. Glad we sent that second plane. Sheesh. Thinking 5, 5, 5. Oh, this is a rough round for us. Dang it! You even got to hit back on the tank. So Germany cuts to hold on to that point. I mean, I could land a bunch of planes in there. I wonder how many fighters it would take to make that not a profitable battle. Because he could send 2 tanks. He could send a bomber. He could send 7 fighters. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 7 fighters. We got infantry, tank. We need 6 fighters in here. I'm sending 11 back in, so potentially 9 of them. Well, no, not 9 of them. 2, 3, 1. Yeah, because these guys are all coming from here, so we can't send that many fighters anyways. We could send those 2. These guys can't make it. Those guys can't make it. 2 fighters aren't going to be good against that. I think we're back to there. So I'm happy to slow the progression, kill the lines in the back lines of the reinforcements, so it's gonna be longer so you can get enough pressure on here. Because I'm really hoping to eventually be able to split this into 2 stacks as this next round comes through and these guys come back. I'd like to do a 2 stack here, but unfortunately this was ugly. This was unfortunate. We'll use at least one of our transports to at least take France. I don't know that I want to reroute 2 of my transports though. All right, there we go.